The secret sound of Shakti. This is a video on the healing power of Tantra, Mantra, and many other yogic secrets. Welcome to the channel. My name is Brett. Here we discuss many topics on chakras, kundalini, awakening, yoga, traditional Tantra, and many other deep spiritual topics. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. And let's talk about Shakti today and the sacred sound, why we chant mantra in yoga, why music is even so appealing to the human soul. It crosses borders of language and reasoning and enters our hearts. This is the power of sound. But when we look at Shakti, which is the feminine principle of God, the manifestation of God's infinite potential to create, has to be manifest through the Shakti, from spirit into matter. And this is the power of sound. This is why we hear, the word was in the beginning. It's the same tradition preserved in the Christian, even of what we have today, from the deep, deep esoteric roots of Christianity and Kemet and their system of spirituality and yoga. But they knew that the word was the divine manifestation, or the manifestation of the divine. And in the power of the word, or sound vibration, this is what tunes us back to our source. So think of it this way: if the word creates and brings into existence, then what does that do in the existence? When we create sound, it's like we are unique as a human being in the fact that we can receive and transmit sound consciously, or like a bird is singing in the background, constantly streaming that healing energy to the forest, to the nature, to the things around it, or whatever sort of emotion and frequency, But if you are in tune, you will notice your environment to be in tune as well. This is a manifestation of Shakti, and just the presence that you can manifest through your kundalini awakening. So it's a very complex subject. I have other videos discussing a few of the basic principles of the chakras, as well as a video on the Divine Mother Kundalini and some reasoning, some thought around that. So you can check those videos out if you're new to this subject. But moving deeper, we start to find that Kundalini and Shakti is the essence of creation, the sound and the spiritual substance which pervades all matter. And so by chanting mantra, this is our key back to source, you could say, because we all can get out of tune. We all can experience diversity, or we can experience the balancing of the scales. And it's easy to get thrown off of your balance. But with Shakti, this is something we have with Tantra, and with the key of mantra, which I'll be sharing even more, and I have meditations for that as well. You can always check those on the playlists and the different stuff on the channel. And we'll be expounding more and more of these mantras as we go in, because it's a very simple tool when we come into a state of anxiety or fear or disregard for God and the disregard for the spirit and life and nature and each other. The mantra is like tuning us back to specific vibrations of that source. We're following the goddess like a stream. I was reading something talking about, following the stream of the current of the sound, and that's like following the goddess, the mother, bringing us back home to God, bringing us back to union. And this is also esoterically what's happening inside of you. So if we have the kundalini at the root chakra, and that's dormant inside of most people, when you chant or vibrate a mantra, you're effectively vibrating the chakras, and the entire system, the entire human system, becomes balanced through this. So on a cellular level, just the physical level, you have benefits to chanting mantras. It helps cure anxiety, depression, relieve these symptoms, and actually target them at the root, which is the internal state that we are existing in. And Shakti comes in like that current, and she washes us clean. This is why praise and worship in many traditions is that key for that tribe, that unity, to come back to source, come back to spirit, is they chant and they sing together and they dance together and they awaken that Shakti energy. And this is that dormant energy that once awakened, the creative energy, it rises. So both esoterically, and imagining, the Godhead, that divine source, that supreme source that we all are aspiring to get back to on the spiritual path, to have that remembrance and that unity with creation and our Creator. We are also manifesting this energy physically or psycho-spiritually. There's a spiritual aspect to the energy and a physical aspect to the energy. But even within the human body, this is how Tantra and yoga works, using the body as our means to ascend, our means to awaken our consciousness. This is also even scriptural. The body is the temple of the Most High, that we are the dwelling place of the Most High. And that all these scriptures and all these teachings are esoteric principles that help our mind go through the experience, which then draws these energies upward. So if we're looking in all spirituality, what we're looking for is this union or this awakening of kundalini. Essentially, it may not be called kundalini, it may be called, the Holy Spirit, or it's called the Tumo and other tantric traditions, Buddhist or Taoist tradition. And, there's all these different names for it around the world, but we're talking about this same energy, the Shakti, the goddess, the mother principle, that is so lost in today's Western culture. And if you talk about Tantra in the West, most people are like, oh, sex and, all these things of just being sexualized and increasingly sexualized, because we're a sexualized culture. But Tantra, that aspect is very small. The whole purpose of sexuality in Tantra is to accept, and this is a divine experience, that we then take that sexual energy, that creative impulse, and rather than being like, an animal who is controlled by that, we begin to raise it to finer and finer substances of energy. This is why the semen retention, I had videos on that as well. That's not super connected to this video, but the Shakti energy is contained in the seed as well, and in the menses for the women, the blood. So this is that sexual energy transmutation takes place when we chant as well. And it's a very important thing to realize, if you have these urges, and it's natural to have these urges. This is the creative energy of kundalini. This means you're alive. This means you have drive, but you want to channel that energy upward to the third eye, to the heart, so that you can nourish the higher centers, so that you can coexist, co-create with God in all chakras. You can create life with that energy too, but that's for another video. I'll be making more videos on that. So stay tuned. Again, subscribe to the channel and everything, because that is a super deep topic as well. And each one of these is like layers. I'm going to build this channel up in layers so that people could go from the beginning and just progressively go through the channel, so that as you watch these videos, you start to get a bigger picture of the whole of like, okay, these ideas and these symbols and these things, these are all pointing back to my inward journey of ascending through consciousness, ascending through different planes and spheres of consciousness, thus awakening the kundalini at the supreme, at the Godhead. So this isn't a super long video. I don't want to get too much deeper into this topic, but those are some of the grounds that cover the secrets of chanting with Shakti, the subtle secrets of sound, the secrets of sound and Shakti, and how this energy awakens when we begin to chant, when we begin to intone, whether it's the Om or the Bija mantras, Lam Vam Ram Yam Ham Om. And we're getting to the tattvas, the elements in that as well. Or you can use other Shakti mantras, which are much more powerful Bija mantras, like Hum or Aim, Krim for Kali, different aspects of the goddess that we find in the system that, again, I will be elaborating on throughout this channel. But there's so many ways through Tantra that we can access this energy and go through these states of consciousness. So I appreciate all of you for staying with me. I love you all so much. Make sure you stay tuned for more. If you want to get involved in a yoga community, in a spiritual community where we work together, when we share ideas, experiences, we have bi-weekly meditation circles, as well as you can sign up for weekly yoga lessons over on our Patreon, or you can message me privately with the email in the description, and I will be happy to develop a personalized yoga plan with you, get involved together where we can do some one-on-one sessions. And yeah, make sure that you apply this information. This video is great, but go check out the meditations. Make sure you get that. Go over on the Patreon, smash that like button, and I will see you all again so soon for another video. Much love. Namaste.